This is the first violin discussion lesson video for Dije. So, you guys are really pretty solid with your opening rhythm. Remember, we use the phrase cotton candy. Cotton candy, hold it. You were fine there. Just a quick reminder that you really must use your fourth finger there in measure 3. You really don't want to hop all the way over to the open A string just for an 8th note and then back to the D string for your high 3rd finger. And plus, if you use your 4th finger, then you are, it's easier to place your high 3rd finger when you've got your 4th finger down, right? Because 3 goes right beside it. Something that I didn't get to talk to you guys about in class was measure 7 and 8. These two measures are extremely tricky for me, and it's because of the 2nd finger hopping around all the time. So in measure 7, you have A and then B natural, so high 2, cotton, candy is where things really start to get tricky, because you have to move from high 2, 3 to low 2 and a string crossing. And then immediately you're only on the D string for a second, less than a second, to get you to your 4th finger on the A string for E. But you don't want to hop all the way over to the open E string from the D string and then come back to the A. That's way too much movement. We're trying to minimize string crossings by using the 4th finger. So 1, high 2, 3, low 2, 4, low 2, 1. So those few beats there are really tricky, and it's something that it took me a while to decipher and get my fingers to do the right thing. And then you have to get the right hand involved and make sure that the bow is going in all the right places as well. So, good luck. Quick little reminder that accidentals carry through the measure. So like measure 9 where you have a D sharp at the beginning, that's still D sharp at the end. You guys go divisi at measure 11, so make sure that the lower line is the loudest, because the top line player will be listening to the lower octave to make sure that they are in tune. So the lower octave, where the notes are much more playable and the fingerings are easier, needs to be extremely solid. You guys did really well with the section 19 through 35, but I just want to remind you about measure 20. That's the one that is in half position. It was printed for you to be in half position. So in 19, you've got your 1st finger on E and your 2nd finger on the next string over, but still low on C. And then in 20, you just shift that whole hand position back to where you were 1st finger on 1st tape and 2nd finger low. These two fingers are still next to each other, but now the 1st finger is behind the tape in low 1 position, and low 2 is super low. It's actually on the 1st finger tape to play the note B natural. And then in 21, you go back into your normal 1st position. And in 22, make sure you use a 4th finger for this A to go C, A, C, A, because we really don't want to go C all the way over to the open A string and jumping a string in between. It's really extremely messy. 23, I recommend using a 4th finger for that D. So you play in 22, C, A, C, A, C, A, C, A, C, D, C. 24, high 3rd finger, so now you've got a high 2nd finger and a high 3rd. 25, that finger comes down. The 2 comes down to low 2, and then reach up to high 3. 27 starts the octaves, so you want to make sure that you're always using 1 and 4 for all of these. 1 and 4 for E natural, 1 and 4 for E flat, 1 and 3 now for D, because you got to stay down to go D, E, D, and then shift up to 3rd position for the octave C's. In 31, 1, 4, 1, 4, and then C, D, C is played C, with first finger, D second finger, C first finger. Slide your whole hand frame back to second position. So if I want to show you on here with my tapes, we are in third position, and then we play C, D, C, and shift back to second position. So second position is when we would have our, sorry, it's tough, I don't have tapes on the back of this to, to see where I'm going. First finger on that second finger tape to play B natural. 33 is a really tricky bar. I haven't quite decided on a really good fingering for this. I say as long as you're playing the right notes, you're good. But 33, those last three notes, G sharp, A, G natural, and then G sharp immediately next. Really tricky. I'm leaning towards keeping it in second position. So if I find second position, A, B, B, B. So I play B. A would be our third finger, right? Because we're in we're in second position. So we play A with 3. So if you snuggle your second finger up to your third finger A, that gives you G sharp. And if you snuggle this first finger all the way up, then now you have A is 3, G sharp is 2, and G natural is 1. So G sharp, A, G natural, A, or G sharp, and then I just go over to make sure I did the right sort of thing. I use open A to get me down into first position to play those eighth notes on the last beat of 34 in first position. So, bon chance with that. Looking forward, these are all patterns and stuff that we've learned before. Not a big deal. The rhythm is slightly different. Moving on to 51, we talked a little bit about the arco pits transition that I want you guys to maintain your bow hold and just reach out your unicorn horn and pluck with your first finger while maintaining your bow grip, so that you're ready to go arco immediately afterwards. The code word is cupcakes. Looking forward, the pickup to 59 is where you guys get some business that you haven't seen before. This little lick, not too difficult. Looking forward to 61. Things might get a little tricky. Low 4 is printed there, and I say you should use it because you're coming off of your third finger on the A string, and under a slur is not a good idea to do a string crossing and move your finger to a new position. So that's why they're having you do 3 and then a low 4 crammed right in there beside it to do G sharp with your low 4th finger. Third position is necessary in measure 64. Both players are going to have to get up there. I'm sorry, bottom line player, there's not a really great way to do it. You could shift up on the last note of 63 if you wish. But if you're just like super not comfortable with third position, then it might be best to just go up on the B and hope for the best, or I can get you up there earlier, but you're gonna have to stay in third position longer, so we'll talk about that. But just know that measure 64 has to be in third position. You can play the entire measure in third position. First beat of 65, still stay up in third position, play D sharp with your high first finger, and then slide down to the B, and then you're back in first position for the rest of it. 66, kind of tricky with the half steps here. 4, 3, of course, on this low A, G sharp. And then you have to jump all the way over the A string to the E string. We've gone from high 3 now to low 3, or normal 3 on the E string and high 2. But there's really no better way to do that, so I apologize. Just gonna have to get your nimble little fingers going. The grace notes, remember that they are F naturals. please. So low 1 on the E string, I say go ahead and use your open E for this, not a big deal. But make sure that you're using low 1 on the E string and then a measure 69. Those grace notes, make sure it's low 2. Looking forward to the glissando and measure 76. This is something we didn't get to go over in class. How we play glissandos on a string instrument is that we put our finger down as if we're going to play the note, so it's actually fully engaging the string, not like a harmonic. We're actually playing the pitch G sharp and maintaining that same contact with the string. We slide it around, so we all have G sharp on the 3rd beat of 76 to make this glissando happen, and you're just going to slide all the way off the fingerboard and then back up to G natural from the nut, basically. So all the way off the fingerboard, off the back to get to E, and then just come back up for G natural. I think otherwise, you guys are really set to play this. You are really well prepared. I think a lot of the prep work that we did on Thursday is going to benefit you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the play along video.